Now that Power Rangers Dino Charge is on its mid-season hiatus, I've decided to use the 5-month break as an opportunity to continue my episode reviews for Lego NinjaGo, the Masters of Spinjitzu. Yes, I am aware that I'm almost a full season behind on this show, but hopefully I will be able to catch up within the coming months. I should note that this episode takes place in the middle of Season 3, so I would suggest that you at least watch the other episode reviews I've done for this season so that you're caught up on what's happened so far, which you can do by clicking this link. If you're still here, that means you've seen my Lego NinjaGo reviews and are ready to join me as I talk about episode 30, The Curse of the Golden Master. The episode opens with the ninja and Pixel returning to New NinjaGo City, where they are confronted by the civilians who are acting like savages. Cyrus Borg breaks through the crowd and tells the ninja that ever since the power outage, the people of the city have become bored and that their imagination knows no bounds. Cyrus then sees Pixel and asks what's powering her, and she explains that Zane gave her half his heart. Cyrus thanks Zane before telling the ninja that the hard drive with the Overlord virus has been stolen, and Jay says that they ran into the thief, showing Cyrus the white serpentine scale. Cole says that the last of the serpentine were sealed in a tomb under the city as he removes a manhole cover and the ninja head into the sewers. Cyrus warns the ninja to approach with caution since he's also missing some prototypes, meaning that the thief may be armed, before he stops Pixel from going into the sewers, since now that he has an unlimited power supply, there's a lot of work to be done. Zane lets Pixel go with Cyrus, which seems like a big mistake considering that Zane can't perform Spinjitzu without Pixel, and Cyrus just said that their foe might be armed and extremely dangerous.
Watch your step, Nia. We don't know the last time this ladder was used.
That's thoughtful of you, Cole.
Hey, how about you watch where you're watching, Cole? Huh?
Oh, guys! A little help!
Oh, is that a threat, Jay? Because coming from you, it sounds like some of your best material.
There's a reason nobody liked you.
My knights in shining armor!
Ah, crap, this is going to become a running thing, isn't it? While the ninja walk through the sewers, the Overlord asks the hooded figure why they aren't going after Lloyd yet since they know where he is, but the hooded figure says that they need to get more Electro Cobra before they can confront Lloyd since he won't go down without a fight. The Overlord orders the hooded figure to find more Electro Cobra, and the hooded figure says that he's one step ahead of the Overlord as he looks at a flyer for the city's aquarium. In Hiroshi's labyrinth, Lloyd and Garmadon are walking through the jungle, with Garmadon saying that according to legend, no one has ever escaped the jungle's deadly maze except for Hiroshi himself, adding that this will be the perfect place to hide from the Overlord. Lloyd says that hiding is all he ever seems to do, but Garmadon says that Lloyd's golden power only strengthens the Overlord's cause, and that the golden power must be protected and honored. Garmadon goes on to say that evil forces will seek the golden power since it seduces, adding that the other ninja may one day covet it, and that Lloyd must be prepared to handle the responsibility on his own, even without his father one day. Garmadon tells Lloyd to keep his chin up, and that legend also states there is an oasis within the maze called the Jewel of the Labyrinth that no one has ever seen before, and that they may be the first to find it. Back with the other ninja, they find the tomb of the Stone Army, which has been sealed since the Serpentine were trapped there, and Zane says the seal appears to have been opened before the ninja noticed Scales walking up behind them. Scales is startled by the sight of the ninja, and Cole tells the others to search through his bag, but all they find are groceries in the latest issue of NinjaGo Times. Scales' family then walks out of the tomb asking if he's okay, with his son asking in fear if this is about the Golden Master. Scales tells his son that that is just a story, but Zane questions if the Golden Master has something to do with Lloyd, and Scales says that the Serpentine have their own legends where he guesses the ninja are the bad guys. Nia asks about the legend, and Scales' wife says that they should tell them about it if they plan on turning a new leaf, so Scales invites the ninja inside the tomb so they can hear about the legend. Back in the city, the brown ninja Dareth takes the academy students to the aquarium, which is still running despite not having power. One of the students asks Dareth why they have to take a field trip to the aquarium, and Dareth says that until the ninja return to the academy, he is in charge of the students. Dareth takes the kids to the Electro Cobra exhibit, but they are being followed by the hooded figure, who is noticed by the security guard that yells for alarm. The hooded figure goes into the exhibit with Dareth and the kids before removing a manhole cover and blowing a whistle that breaks the glass of the tank, causing the room to flood. Dareth manages to save the kids from a few sharks as the hooded figure collects the Electro Cobra, telling the Overlord that they now have enough power to go after the Golden Ninja. Back with the other ninja, Scales explains that after losing against the Stone Army, the Serpentine decided to amend their warring past and look for ways to better themselves, but Kai says that there still may be a bad apple among them. Kai goes on to ask about the white-scaled snake that stole the Overlord hard drive, but Scales says that the Serpentine now have no desire to meddle with the affairs above, before he asks the ninja to gather around so they can hear about the curse of the Golden Master, which is told to them by an elder Serpentine.
When the first Spinjitzu master created NinjaGo, deep in the ground, he created the Serpentine. Since the first dawn, our elders knew of the curse of the Golden Master. When he, who had the powers equal to the first Spinjitzu master, would rise and usher in the last of the setting suns. With no equal adversary, his power will go unmatched. His destructive rule will change the face of the world. And he will not stop until every man, woman, and serpentine are enslaved under his control. The serpentine tried to warn the land dwellers, but they wouldn't listen. They thought we were the enemy, though we were only trying to prevent the prophecy of the Golden Master's terrible reign. After the Great Devourer failed to scare the unbelievers below ground, it is we who retreated beneath the soil, promising never to return. Even now, and the end is inevitable.
Interesting. Back with Cyrus, he uses Pixel to give Clean power back to his office, saying that they can now track the Ninjroid presence in the city. Pixel tells Cyrus that while she belongs to him because he gave her life, Zane saved her life, adding that when she was with Zane, she felt connected and free. Cyrus tells Pixel that she doesn't belong to anyone, and that if she wants to be with Zane, she should be with him, before noticing some Ninjroid power signatures in the area. The radar says that the Ninjroids are in the office, which Cyrus says is impossible, but Pixel adds that they could be underground. Back in the tomb, the ninja question the possibility of Lloyd becoming the Golden Master, with Jay saying that he is the son of Lord Garmadon, before the Ninjroids suddenly appear and attack, seeming to have followed them. The ninja try to protect the Serpentine, with Kai, Cole, and Jay performing Spinjitzu, while Zane just kinda stands there because he has poor foresight.
Guess I have poor timing.
All four ninja try to fight the Ninjroids, with Jay commenting that this would be a lot easier if they knew what was powering them, and Cole is able to find and disconnect an Electro Cobra from one of the Ninjroids. Cole tells the others about his discovery, and the ninja then proceed to deactivate all the other Ninjroids pretty quickly. I guess Jay was right about it being easy. One of the fallen Ninjroids grabs Zane's leg, seeming to be possessed by the Overlord, who tells Zane that he's fighting for the wrong side, and that the Ninjroid's attack on the Serpentine was just a diversion to keep the ninja busy, while he goes after Lloyd, who the ninja have unknowingly led him to. Not sure why the Overlord is telling them all this, but whatever. Zane deactivates the possessed Ninjroid, and Scales fears that the time of the Golden Master is upon them since Lloyd holds too much power. Nia asks if the Serpentine will help them get to Lloyd before the Overlord, but Scales says that they made an oath never to return to the surface, but before the ninja leaves, Scales says that there's only one Serpentine known for using Electro Cobra. Cut back to the jungle, where Lloyd and Garmadon find the Jewel of the Labyrinth, but don't get to enjoy the sight for long as they hear some machines approaching. Garmadon tells Lloyd to leave before he is confronted by Evil Wu, and the two begin fighting, with Garmadon commenting on how they are always on opposite sides. Lloyd in the meantime is stopped by some Ninjroids, so he uses his golden power to make a motorcycle, even though Garmadon tells him to trust in the balance. Lloyd speeds off on the cycle, shaking off a few Ninjroids that are chasing him, before he stops at the edge of a cliff. An Overlord-possessed flying machine appears that has Evil Wu holding Garmadon on it, and Garmadon tells Lloyd to leave, but the Overlord says that he will drop Lloyd's father into the ocean if he does. Lloyd tries to use his golden power against the Overlord, but before he can, he's wrapped up by a mechanical snake released by the hooded figure, who walks up to Lloyd and takes off his hood to reveal Pythor. Lloyd says he thought Pythor was dead, but Pythor explains that he was only partially digested by the Great Devourer before it was destroyed, which is why his scales are now white. Pythor takes Lloyd aboard the flying machine, where Lloyd apologizes to his father, saying that he failed him, and Garmadon tries to say that it is he who failed Lloyd, but before he can get the words out, the Overlord orders Evil Wu to throw him overboard. The Overlord then leaves with Lloyd to go perform the power transfer, and the episode ends with Garmadon swimming above the water, practically unharmed, saying he will find Lloyd. This episode is odd, to say the least. It's not really bad, it's actually pretty good, but it's just weird. But before I get into why it's weird, let me go ahead and talk about the themes of this episode so I can get them out of the way. Much like the last episode, this episode focuses primarily on the importance of balance, but rather than focus on the balance through relationships, this episode instead talks about the negative consequences of not maintaining a balance. There's a lot of talk about how powerful Lloyd's golden power is, and how he should be careful not to misuse or be corrupted by it. Garmadon says in the Labyrinth that the golden power needs to be protected and honored, since many people, including Lloyd's friends, might try to take it from him, implying that the only way for Lloyd to make sure that no one takes his golden power is by not overusing or relying on it too much. And we see the direct consequences of Lloyd doing both near the end of the episode, resulting in him being captured by the Overlord and separated from his father. Even the stuff with the Golden Master is used in this episode to explore the idea that absolute power corrupts absolutely. When I first saw this episode, I thought the Curse of the Golden Master was referring to the Overlord once he has taken the golden power from Lloyd, which I felt was a bit predictable given that the last season ended with the Overlord possessing Garmadon. But after a second viewing, I understood what the episode was trying to do thematically, saying that if Lloyd doesn't maintain the balance of his abilities, he will ultimately be corrupted by his golden power, thus causing the Serpentine's prophecy to come true. Outside of the thematic stuff, this episode also has its fair share of head-scratching moments, but oddly enough, none of them really affect the story in a negative way. For example, I was questioning why Zane would allow Pixel to leave his side since he can't use Spinjitzu without her, but there's no real consequence for that decision, and I'm not sure why the Overlord would tell the ninja that he was going after Lloyd, but I guess you could argue that he was bragging about his victory since he pretty much succeeded in capturing Lloyd anyway. Even the scene with Jay and Cole, which I thought was really annoying, didn't really bother me all that much since the episode doesn't put too much focus on it. However, one legitimate issue that I had with this episode was near the end when the Overlord orders Evil Wu to drop Garmadon into the sea. The way the scene plays, I think the show wants you to assume that the fall killed Garmadon, but having him come up for air immediately after being dropped almost turns the scene into a comedic moment to the point where it got a chuckle out of me when it happened. Overall, this is a pretty good episode. While it does have a few silly moments, I don't have that much to complain about here, and even the stuff that I did complain about is minor at best. The story flows nicely, presenting some very compelling themes which make it worth a watch, and the cliffhanger at the end makes me excited for what will happen in the next special. I'm Nick, aka Iron Man 1993, reminding you to Ninja Go!